Greetings, Internet. Today we're going to continue our basics tutorials on drums, continuing with overheads. So I'm skipping the toms and the hi-hat and focusing on just the overheads right now. A reason being, you need to be incorporating your overheads into your mixes very early on, if not the first thing. I know a lot of these videos are focusing on one thing at a time, one plugin, one processing at a time. For the most part, when you're mixing, you're bouncing around. Because when you're making a mix, that's it. You're doing a mix. You're doing a full picture thing, and your drum overheads are such a vital part of that picture that you need to be on them quick. So we're moving on to that. Typically, I'll start with my kick and snare and overheads and sort of build those into a mix first on my drums before I move on to the other drums. So that's just what we're doing. We are focusing on what I call a really, really tight overhead sound. So there's a few schools of thought on overheads, one of which is to sort of get rid of a lot of the low end, that low end be filled by the other drums, and then just sort of focus on your cymbals and your transients. And that's what we're going to do today. And we'll start with that. Let me hit play here. This will be the mix without the vocals. You'll be able to hear everything. Then we're going to do just the drums and then just the overheads. Here we go. All right, now you'll hear that, when full band was in, there was a lot of low end in the drums. When I slowed the drums, you heard a lot of the low end, and then as soon as I switched those overheads, the low end on them just sort of disappeared. That's because, well, I got rid of a lot of it. So the snare sounds super thin. Obviously, out of context, not what I would want. In context, sounds pretty good. As you can see, there's just a lot of scooping on this low and this mid end in here. Now, all that being said, it works really, really well. Let me play this overhead without any processing. So here's where we started. Let's move on. We're going to start with the EQ. So this big bell right here, we're not going to cover that today. That's actually some dynamics going on. That's actually for some splashiness in the cymbals. So if I clear that, adds a bit of vibiness to it. That'll be a separate video, but let's get started. We'll move this over, and we're going to start with this low cut. I believe I had it like 210, and we'll start there. And this will be, again, this is for creating a cymbals that sort of fill around the rest of your drum mix and just add just a lot of that nice cymbal splash there. So, moving on. You can hear that. You can hear that full kit in there. It's a really, really good recording. By the way, two Audio-Technica 4033As, I believe, were what was used on this. Not expensive mics. So now that that's there, I'm going to now continue. So there's two things I'll be doing. I'll be notch filtering out some spikes that really hit hard, and then I'm going to really just start working around the overall shape. And what I'm going to be doing is just clearing out these mids and these low mids, and getting us a mix that works on these overheads. You see this first one right here? Do a cut here, a really big one, for a notch. Bring this down a bit more. See another one right here. So this would be like just a mid-range conical snap that I don't really like, and if once I boost this low end, it's gonna get in my way. Let's show that real quick. That's really, really. Same thing. I'm gonna narrow that more. Bring a little more down here. Still some mid-range around 1K I want to get rid of, so I'm going to drop this. Let's take a listen. That's just muddiness, 1K, just for a meh. You can hear the splashiness around that 4K a little bit more, so I'm actually going to do a bit of really narrow cut. Good enough for now. I'm not entirely sure. Let's hit play for a little bit. I think I did one more notch filter. Can't remember where I had it. Right there, actually. All right, now I'm going to add a character EQ. So one of my methods when I do mixing is I'll do one set of EQs that's sort of more of a just like taming, sort of general shaping. And I'll do one set of EQ that's typically some type of emulator. That is something I want to sort of add that character to. I believe in this case I use the British Class A. Now with equalizers, you can do it all in one plugin. Typically, in a mix, I'll do EQ, compression, and then I'll add that second EQ afterward. I'm playing with equalizers to actually do it during, so I'm actually going to do another mid-range cut. Here, just a little flavor. And then same thing, we'll see what 12K gets us. We'll hit play and we'll actually boost it. We'll do it in real time. So that hollows that out a bit more. Adds a little splashiness. Turn up to 16. Feels a little much. Turn it back down. Now let's bring that in with the rest of the drums. And what I'm going to do, obviously it's a bit quiet. See how those meters dropped? This is -3, so we'll bring this up maybe 4 dB. Just sort of equate it a little bit, get it to stick out in the mix. Obviously we've got plenty of headroom, hip space. And there we go, some overheads that sort of fit in the mix a little better. And I hope you learned something. And we'll move on next time to, we'll do some compression on there, and we'll do a little bit of that dynamic processing. So hope you all enjoyed. Hopefully that was helpful, and we'll see you around the bend.